Hello, it's Ben here with the DIY Homefront, and I'm out in the front yard, and I have got trailer stuff everywhere, and it looks like chaos. But I'm really trying to use my time wisely, because in between putting coats of paint on, I need something to do, and that's when I work on something else. And the something else is going to be my brand new project, which is a enclosed trailer. Let me show you. Well, there it is. It's a 7x14 enclosed trailer with a ramp. And we had some wildfires and had to evacuate recently. And because of that, we are just tired of putting everything in the backseat of the car until you can't put anything else in it. So we decided to get an enclosed trailer and do it right. And this is made by Titanium Cargo. And so far it's only had 2 glitches. The trailer lights don't work, and I haven't dug into it. And somebody over tightened the bolt that holds the emergency brakes. So I'll have to fix those 2 things, but those will be in another video, because this one's mainly about just getting the inside prepped. I really want to be able to use this thing, and because of that, I'm going to go ahead and fix it up. And like everybody else, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to paint the interior. Now I've got a couple of gallons of paint here. I've got some leftover tan paint right here, and that'll be the first coat because the wood's going to soak up a bunch. And then I've got this joint compound, which is actually ceiling paint. It's not joint compound. And then the last coat's going to be this semi-gloss exterior paint, which should hold up fairly well. And with the white surface and the semi-gloss, it should reflect a lot of light, so it should make things seem a lot brighter in here. So the first thing to do is to take off some of the stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and put some tape around the top, just to make sure I don't make a mess of it whenever I start rolling, because I plan on rolling quite a bit of this. Well, let's get the camera set up and we'll get to work. Well, thanks for checking out the video. I really do appreciate my viewers, and I hope I can inspire you to do something cool. Well, this cargo trailer has 2 of these vents. One's at the top in the front and one's low in the back. And both of them have this black plastic cover that goes around them. It's held in place with 4 screws, so I'll take those 4 screws out and take off the plastic cover, and that way I don't have to tape it up and I won't worry about getting paint on it. The next thing I'll do is I'll take some painter's tape and I'm going to mask off where the roof meets the walls, so that way I don't get any paint on the ceiling. I don't claim to be an expert, but I know there's a big difference between painter's tape and masking tape. Masking tape doesn't have the same type of glue on the back of it. Painter's tape is specifically designed to be able to pull off without pulling off any of the paint. And if you've ever done that, it's very, very frustrating. You spend all the time taping things up, and then when you go to pull the tape off, you end up pulling your fresh paint off too. That's like one of those life lessons, you know. You only make that mistake once. Well, I noticed something odd. This vent is not straight up and down in the wall. When I was putting the painter's tape on it, I realized that. So I thought I'd go check the other vent to make sure I wasn't missing something. And the other vent is straight up and down. Well, with everything masked off with the painter's tape, let's look at the paint I'm going to be using. Look how bad this is. It's been sitting out in my barn for a couple of years. I think it needs to be stirred up because that's not brown or tan. Well, I'm going to speed up the video 3 times because I'm going to be stirring this paint for quite a while. In all actuality, it's probably been sitting on the shelf in my barn for about 8 years. I've got 2 gallons of this paint, and I thought it was a great opportunity to try to use it up. It's a satin tan colored interior latex paint, and it was on the walls in our living room. But we have since painted the living room a different color, and this paint is just left over doing nothing. So it's a great opportunity for me to try to use it up. Now, regardless of what kind of paint you use or how old the paint is, it is really important to make sure that it is really mixed up well. Both to make sure that you have the proper color consistency throughout the paint, and that the ingredients or materials that the paint is made out of are thoroughly mixed together. A lot of stuff ends up settling on the bottom in different layers. So really make sure you stir it up, and really make sure you pay attention to the bottom of the can. You don't want to end up having a bunch of solids that are down there that the paint needs to cure and harden on the wall. Well, I believe I probably mixed this paint up for over 5 minutes, but now that I've got it all mixed up, I need to go ahead and clean off this paint paddle, and I'll go take it to the garden hose outside and rinse it off, and then we can move on to the roller. Well, that's about as clean as it's going to get, and I'll just leave it here in the sun to dry. So I'm using a metal paint tray that's got a plastic paint liner inside of it that normally would be considered disposable, but a lot of times I will rinse them off and reuse that cheap plastic liner over too. And I'm going to pair that with a 9-inch paint roller with a 3/8 inch nap on it. Well, I put as much paint on the roller as I can without leaving drips all over the floor, and I try to make sure that I get a nice thick coat on the wall. And I go over the same area repeatedly to make sure that there's plenty of paint for the wood to soak up. And in the end, it took probably about 30 minutes to do the whole trailer. This scraping tool is specifically made for painting, and you should find it in the painting area. And it's got a half circle cut into one side of it that perfectly fits the roller. And it's great for scraping down the roller to get almost all the excess paint off your roller. So that way you can put that excess paint back in the can instead of throwing it in the trash or rinsing it down the drain. Well, I'm going to put all this paint back into that 1-gallon container because I'm just curious to see how much paint I actually got on the walls. And it looks like I probably put about 3/4 of a gallon of paint in that single coat on the walls. It'll be interesting to compare how much paint I use when I'm putting the next couple of coats of paint on the wall. Well, I'll go ahead and clean up any drips around the edge of this paint can and put the lid on it, but we're not quite done with it yet. But before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and take the roller and the paint tray outside and clean it up with the garden hose. I want to make sure I get all that tan paint out of that roller because I'm going to reuse this roller. It looks like I've got most of the paint out of the paint tray too, so I'll go ahead and finish cleaning it up so we can reuse it again and save a few pennies. This will be the first time I'm using this particular brand of paintbrush, but for the most part, latex paints are very forgiving with whatever kind of paintbrush you're going to use. Well, to finish the base coat up, I'm going to need to paint everywhere I couldn't get with the roller, and that's what the brush is for. And that mainly just means all the edging to those pieces of wooden strips that covered all the seams. I'm also going to repaint any spots where it looks like that plywood paneling soaked up all the paint. Well, now that I'm done with the brush, look how little paint's left in this bucket. It's almost all gone. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this away because the paint's already old as it is. About 3 hours have passed by, and I have mixed up the white ceiling paint with the drill and the paint mixer. Now I'm going to pour that paint into the blue tray, reuse that 9-inch roller, and we're going to paint the walls with that white ceiling paint. Now, I am not a professional painter, and all my videos say how to, but it's more like a how I. But I have been maintaining my property and doing everything here for years. And since this is a how-to video, I sort of feel like I owe it to keep all the steps in. So even though some of these are very repetitive, I think it's important for you to see the whole process. So that's why I'm not really editing everything out, because I have no idea what everybody's skill level is, and I want to make sure you see how everything gets done. Well, I would call this the primer coat, and it's doing a pretty good job, but there's still a lot of areas that I'm going to touch up, and the paint doesn't have that bright white look. It's definitely going to need a third coat. Once I'm done with this brush, I'll clean all the paint supplies up and get ready for that top coat. You can see there's a couple little spots that are porous. If you go across it, it ends up taking off the top paint, but it smooths everything out. I think I am going to go over the whole surface and just lightly get everything. If I could do it over, I would have done this step after I painted the walls with that tan paint and before I painted the walls with this first coat of white. So there's no way the tan paint could show through the white paint at all. Regardless though, this should smooth out the surface of the walls. Well, that light sanding of the walls created some sanding dust. So I'm going to take a handheld brush and I'm going to go over the entire surface of the walls, especially all the pieces that cover the seams of the plywood, and make sure all the dust is off. Well, I'm not doing anything I haven't done twice before. I've got the roller, I'm going to put some paint in a bucket, I'm going to go around and paint all the sides with the roller, and then I'll go back with the brush. But here's something new. These are pretty cool devices. They click onto the paint can like a paint lid, and they have a spout that you can pop up and help pour out the paint. I've had this one for years and it's starting to get stiff, but the new ones are very flexible. This one obviously is sealed shut with paint. Here we go. Got a spout you can open up. You can pour the paint in there, close it up, and you can leave this plastic lid on as long as you have the paint. And I do just that. I will leave this on this can of white paint because most of the trim around my house is white, and it seems like most of the things that need to be touched up are the trim. And it allows me to get in and out of that paint can repeatedly without having to take that metal lid off. When they're new, they're a lot more pliable. One thing I will say is the first time you're going to take paint and put it in the pan, you better make sure you hold the lid on tight because you don't want this coming off and a gallon of paint rushing out. Like I said, you're going to want to hold it. And I have had the lid come off before, and that is a big mess, and that's the reason why I know to hold it this way. It also has a breathing port on the back that when it's opened up, it'll come out a lot quicker. It really does make getting the paint out of the can so much easier, especially if you're just trying to get a little bit into a cup to touch up something. Well, it's time for that final coat of paint, and I'm going to go slow, take my time, and try to get a nice good thick coat of paint on the wall. Well, I'm going to use that paint scraper and try to get all the paint off again, but this time I'm going to throw the roller away. I'm not even going to bother to clean it up. This is the third time I've used it, and as far as rollers go, that's a pretty good lifespan. Once I've got all the paint off of the sides of the roller with the scraper, I'll end up using the very tip of the scraper and get it off of the very end of the roller because I want to save as much of this paint as I possibly can. Another advantage of having this pour spout on top of the paint can is that when you do go to pour the paint into the paint tray, you don't have to put as much into it, and you can control how much you put into it because you can do it more often. A lot of times when you open up a fresh can of paint and you go to put that first bit in it, you end up just glugging a bunch of paint into the paint tray because you don't want to spill it. And you end up having a lot more in the paint tray, and when you're done, you have a lot more wasted paint in the paint tray. Now, something else I'm going to do is, instead of just immediately trying to get this back into the can, I'll just literally hold the whole paint tray and use that while I'm trimming out everything that needs to be brushed with my trim brush. Now, you can't remove these, they just pop right back off. I'm going to try to get the last of the paint in there. I'll do some digging and find that lid, and I'll leave some information about how you can find it and buy it in the video description. But they really do make things a lot easier, as long as you hold the lid when you pour it in those paint trays, especially when the paint can's full. We're going to put this back on here. And once again, we almost used a gallon of the tan, about 3/4 of the ceiling paint, and about a half a gallon. So if I wanted to, I could probably put another coat on this if I wanted to, but I am not. I can go ahead and put this stuff up, and we'll let this dry for a little while. All right, guys, we're almost done with the first step, which was to do the paint. The only thing left to do now is to take off the tape and put these covers back on. I was going to break this up into basically 3 videos. The first one was painting it. Well, pretty much done with that now. The next one's going to end up being installing E-track on the walls. Now, I think the only thing I didn't show was I unscrewed the light switch and I unscrewed 2 metal plates along the back of the trailer. Almost had it. Come on, baby. Gimme. Pulling the tape off is almost like having that new car smell. It's just nice to be done with this. Well, just to let you know about the time, I ended up putting 2 coats of paint on this trailer one day and another coat of paint on the trailer on the second day. You could probably do it all in one day, but you'd have to make sure you started early and that you had all day long to do this. It got pretty hot here in the afternoon, and I just decided that I was going to let it dry and I would put the last coat of paint on the next day. Well, we're pretty much back where we started, putting the final cover on, and I think we're about done. I really feel spoiled because a lot of times I end up buying stuff off of Facebook Marketplace and things need to be a little fixed up. But this was brand new and I am loving it. Now it's got a nice coat of paint on the walls and it's nice and bright and clean. So we can move on to other things. But for this video, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my playlist, and I'll see you in that next video.